What's up, y'all? Welcome to House of Aguirre, and in today's video we're going to be talking about why you need to create your own cultural renaissance. And I was very excited to make this video because I recently began the gauntlet of doing so myself, and I found it's been both very challenging and almost immediately rewarding in how cultivating the things that you consume and use to inspire you can really automatically change you as an individual. So I got my notes here so we can be succinct and give you the game to send you on your way. And we'll get right into, also don't mind that, black folk, we gotta change the battery. I'll get to it, it'll be done soon, but just ignore it for the rest of this video. But for point number one, you are what you consume. You need to curate your intellectual diet. So one thing I found for myself was that when I was watching a lot of YouTube videos, and I have a vast array of content from fashion stuff to self-improvement, but I was finding myself watching a lot of those video essays, critiquing and showing the crazy stuff that people are doing in the world, particularly the streamers and people who are kind of crashing out for the sake of clout and views. And while I do feel like it wasn't that bad because people were critiquing and giving advice on what not to do in those scenarios, I still do believe I was kind of intaking the brain rot with just extra steps in the process. So one thing I found for myself that was useful was really taking a step back and asking myself, how do I want to inspire myself going forward into 2025? And also, how can I make the most of my time when I am relaxing to be able to use it as an opportunity to almost a similar, like rather than eating a bunch of candy, can I switch my diet up and eat fruit so I'm still getting the benefit of sweets, but it's actually more sustainable and healthy for me? So the thing that I took upon myself to do was, rather than watching social media without really thinking about exactly what I'm consuming, I found myself really taking time to make a list and find lists of really good quality books and movies that I wanted to watch to help me improve my language, my sense of style, my body language, as well as just have better forms of relaxation that I could have more sustainable and nourishing forms of content in my brain, because you are what you consume, whether that be the foods you eat, the people you're around, the environments you stay in. Everything is constantly shifting and creating a new you with every action and thought you have. So why not make it of better use to you and cultivate something that benefits you rather than harms you? So I believe whether you read classical books or fiction books, or you decide to switch out your hobbies for something a bit more healthy for you, I find that it's very useful to just curate your diet in a mental and spiritual way as well, not just what you physically eat, because it really creates who you are as a person. Oh, and I forgot to mention, the added benefit of curating your diet is that it gives you much more energy to create with. And that gets into point two, which is design your own cultural blueprint. But before I get directly into that point, I wanted to say that within what you consume, whether it be books, movies, podcasts, certain types of YouTube videos, what it also does for you is create a network of inspiration. So say if you're the type of person that you may not be able to cultivate your environment in your real life so readily, maybe the people you're around aren't necessarily interested in things you want to do or get better at, or maybe you want to cultivate a skill that isn't so easily able to be trained where you are. The dope thing about the internet is that it really makes access to information and people very possible within the fraction of a second. And so you get to really cultivate your own, some people call it like their own personal counsel, a mental Rolodex of inspiration. All these things allow you to then have things to inspire you and that give you really great forms of energy to then create from. So into number two, which is designing your own cultural blueprint. One thing that helped me was outlining a plan for these areas of culture, art, or skill sets that I want to dive into. And so what I mean by that is essentially within the plan of what you consume, I think also coming to talk to yourself about what you want to create and what you want to do with what you consume is very useful and gives the thing that you're consuming more purpose. It's one thing to say, I'm gonna read a bunch of books in a year, but if you kind of challenge yourself to say, hey, from this, I want to create my own mini video to talk about this, or I want to create a schedule that I read a book a month and I want to take my time with that book and really take notes so I can use it further. Or if you want to watch a podcast, maybe you diversify the range to say, hey, I have every quarter of the year, so every 3 months, I want to focus on a different sector of my life and find 1 to 2 podcasts that can help me better myself. One might be financial, another might be more fitness, health oriented, another might be style, and another one might be like emotional intelligence, psychology, whatever, persuasion. And I want to diversify it so I can build a better, well-rounded base of knowledge. This either scheduling or making projects for yourself really help you actualize and make a more digestible strategy to then go into it. Because one thing I found with building a new habit is that it really helps to anchor yourself, whether it be with a project or it be with a timeline, so that you have a purpose for why you're doing it. It's hard to want to wake up early if you have no reason to, and you can wake up late and still be fine. But if you have work that requires you to wake up early, you automatically feel the detriment of staying up late, so it makes you want to stay up. So oftentimes on the path to building a good habit or changing your lifestyle, it helps to have anchors of structure to make you feel the feedback of not having that habit in your life, the good habit. So number 3, which is the final point, which is make creation a non-negotiable. So commit to creating something, anything, weekly, whether it's journaling, videos, a song, 3D modeling, knitting. Act of creating fosters discipline and growth. So similar to what I said before about having structures in your life, whether it be a certain type of job, or maybe you tell a friend, hey, let's go to the gym in the morning, so you have to go to bed early. I think also using this new extra energy you have and facilitating it externally in also another healthy and sustainable way really then creates a new feedback cycle of creation that then feeds you as well as you feed it. And I think it also really revitalizes your processes to make more of the life you have. I think that by cultivating a healthy cycle of consumption and creation, you then create an almost energetic dam for yourself of being able to build things in your reality that benefit you, allowing you to attract people who are like the lifestyle that you want, to be able to create more opportunities for yourself that then can lead to better outcomes for you. Maybe it could be a job opportunity, it could be connecting with people who then build and inspire you to build more. And it could just be as simply as you being a more confident version of yourself because you're creating things that give you purpose and excitement and endless creativity. I find that creating your own cultural renaissance not only really pushes you to be a better person, but also add in your own form of beauty in your world and the world around you. And I realized that it's almost a bit of an epidemic, the lack of harmony we have, especially in Western society. A lot of the buildings are looking the same, everything feels more monotonous. Monotonous? That word's fucking me up. It's becoming more the same. It's just stale. Architecture isn't as thriving as it is. And I think that in both fashion, in the world around us, in the food you eat, there are so many pockets of opportunity to create more beauty and harmony in the world, whether it be the language that you speak, or your body language, or even the hair care and the skincare you do for yourself. There's so many opportunities to imbue a sense of grace and elegance into your life. And I find it really exciting. And I think it's the more easier part of self-improvement to access. Going to the gym and building muscle, though I think is very accessible within a year or two, can take time. Building a skill in a martial art or learning a new language can take time. But something as simple as changing what you consume, maybe designing your room to be a bit more prettier, eating healthier food, these things you can change within a day and are not as expensive to do in terms of either time, energy, or attention. And so I think by creating your own cultural renaissance, you really craft yourself into being your highest version of yourself and then externalize that beauty that then helps and uplifts the world as a whole. So I hope that was helpful. I'll see you soon. Peace.